Hello everyone, welcome back to another Mathematics and GIS lecture video. And in this lecture video, I want to talk about plotting plotting polar coordinates. Plotting polar coordinates. So this is going to involve both looking at points and reading what they should be, as well as given polar coordinates, putting them on the graph. So let's go ahead and start off with the red point right here. And let's say, what are the polar coordinates of this point right here? So just to sort of remind ourselves, right, polar coordinates have two things. They have the r, which is the distance, and they have the theta, which is the angle made between the point and the horizontal axis here. Okay? And just to remind ourselves, right, r is the distance along, so 2, 4, 6, etc. And theta, in this case, we're using degrees. You can certainly use radians, and we actually will be using radians in most cases, right, is going to be the angle along here. So let's go ahead and look at this red point right here. Let's go ahead and figure out what is its polar coordinates. Well, the first thing we want to do is we want to figure out, okay, how far along in our little spider web are we going here? So let's go ahead and label some of these intermediate distances here. This is 1, this is 3, this is 5, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So if we look, I'm going to use a different color here. Right, if we look, if we trace the line here, right, we go back along here, we find that our distance is 5. So our r for our first point, our r is going to equal 5. Okay. Well, what's our theta? Let's take a look. Our theta values are marked sort of in this circle here. So we start at 0 on the horizontal and we move up. This is 30. So halfway between those is going to be 15 degrees. Halfway between those is going to be 45 degrees. Halfway between those is going to be 75 degrees. So we're going to look and say, okay, well, this line's 45, right? If we trace that back, or trace it out, I should say, right? You'll see that the line, the point that we're interested in, right, lies along the 45 degree line. So our theta in this case is going to be equal to 45 degrees. Right, so just to recap here, right, this point right here is going to have, and let me do it over here, it's going to have a value of 5, 45 degrees, right? That's the polar coordinate of this point right here. So let's go ahead and look at the blue one. Okay, we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to trace its value. Again, I'm going to use green here. We're going to trace its value back along its little sort of spider web here. We're going to trace its value going back, 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 going back until we hit here. Right? And so we need to actually extend out our labeling system here. This is actually going to be 7, right? Because each one of these is a half. So for the blue point now, right, we know that the r is going to be equal to 7. Okay. Well, what's its theta? What is theta? Well, theta in this case is going to be, if we look, right, again, finding where its angle lies, right, that's the sort of diagonal lines, right, its theta line is right here. Which means its theta is going to be 60. All right, so its theta is going to be 60 degrees. So then we can say that the measurement here is going to be 7, 60 degrees. And again, I'm just using degrees because I tend to find that's the system that most people are familiar with, but we most certainly can and probably should be thinking about this in terms of radians. So this would be pi over 4, right? This would be pi over 2, etc. So hopefully that makes sense. And if you have any questions, please reach out. Thank you.